What do we have here?
This is a Gorham sterling silver Inkwell. William Andrews Clark owned it.
It looks like a gavel.
Order. Order in the corner.
I came down to the pawn shop today to sell my Gorham sterling silver Inkwell owned by William Andrews Clark. I'd like to sell it because my wife and I's 10th anniversary is coming up, and I'd like to do something special for her. I was looking to get $3,800. I'll probably be willing to take $2,500.
This is pretty cool. Where did you get it?
I bought it from a picker at a show in San Diego.
Okay. It's an Inkwell?
It's an Inkwell.
Oh, okay.
What's an inkwell?
Well, back in the day, they didn't have ballpoint pens. Every desk more or less had to have an inkwell because that's how you wrote with pens. You had to dip your pen in the ink and then write, and then dip your pen in the ink and write. So this is W.A. Clark, as in William Andrews Clark?
William Andrews Clark. Clark County, Nevada was named after him.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people don't know that Las Vegas is in Clark County.
Right.
Have you ever heard of this guy?
He's Clark from Clark County.
It's because of him that Las Vegas exists. Basically, he wanted a railroad from Salt Lake City to Southern California, and it went right through Las Vegas because there was a natural spring here. The railroads needed water. They operated on water. They were steam-driven at the time. I don't know exactly how much money he had back then, but today he would be a multi-billionaire. Like a lot of rich guys, William Andrews Clark decided he wanted to get into politics. But he wasn't going to go through normal channels. This is the guy who always said, "I never bought a man that wasn't for sale." Way back in the day, state legislatures elected senators, and he just blatantly bought a senatorship. I mean, he was a money-making machine, but didn't have a lot of redeeming qualities.
He didn't. Exactly.
So what do you want to do with this?
I'd like to sell it.
How much do you want for it?
I'd like around $3,800 for it.
I love buying local history stuff, but how do you know that W.A. Clark is William Andrews Clark?
Well, we don't exactly 100% know that.
Okay. I would want to be sure before I even made you an offer on it. I know the guy who runs the Clark County Museum, and if there's anybody who would know about William Andrews Clark, it would be the guy who runs the museum named after him.
Right.
Let me get him down here, have him take a look at it, and he can give me a little bit more info, and I can go from there.
Great. Sounds like a plan. Let's do it. You know, you always have a concern that some things could be forged or fake, but I'm 99% confident that this piece is real.
Mark!
Ian Chumley, how you
How's it
doing?
going, Mark?
How's it going?
Doing well. So what do we got today?
We have a gavel Inkwell, supposedly William Andrews Clark.
You know who that is?
Yes, Chumley, I do. The guys normally call me down here when they've got an historical artifact that they want to learn a little bit more about. So this would have been from the National Irrigation Congress. In the West, we had a lot of land that didn't have water, but you could grow crops on it if you got water there. A lot of the big dams in the West and the water projects in the West came out of lobbying from the National Irrigation Congress. He was actually the president of that twice. A presentation piece like this was fairly common for the era, but to have one that specifically ties back to William Andrews Clark, now that's something special. It is an inkwell. You would have always had a glass insert here.
Correct.
That's missing, but otherwise, it looks to be in wonderful shape. It's a neat piece.
So, what do you think?
Where did you come up with this?
I bought this from a picker at a show in San Diego.
Interesting. Did Picker have any other information where he'd gotten it from?
He did, but he didn't want to say where he got it from.
You know, realistically, can you fake anything? Yeah, you can. But yes, this is William Andrews Clark. It's certainly the right time period. It's certainly the right kind of engraving on it. This would be something that would be extraordinarily unlikely to fake.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. You're the best.
When you run a museum that's the Clark County Museum, and you're looking at an item that belonged to the man for whom the county is named, I mean, this is wonderful. This is a cool piece.
How much you want for it?
$3,800.
Not gonna happen. It's neat, it's one of a kind, but who's gonna want to buy it?
Whoever collects anything that's historical to Clark County.
No one's gonna think it was cooler than Mark, man, and he didn't want to offer you nothing for it.
I would give you like $800 for it.
$800 is just not going to get it.
Quite frankly, if it didn't belong to Clark, it'd be worth $150. Inkwells from that period were pretty common. Everyone had one.
You know, I go down to like $2,800.
Just not gonna happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there we go. All right.
Thanks for
a lot.
coming in, man.
All right, you bet. When I was offered $800, I really thought that was lowballing the piece as a part of history, and I'd be more than happy just to hold on to it myself.